Hey everyone, how are you? It is Nights with Ping for your Tuesday night. At least I hope it's a Tuesday night. If not, I might be stuck in the portal. How are you all out there? I am fine. I had a bunch of people try and reach out to me asking if I was okay. Yeah, I'm fine here. There was a huge uh, storm that came through Victoria yesterday, wiped out a bunch of different places. There's trees down everywhere. A bunch of places don't have power. Some of them actually, I don't know if it was a tornado or just straight line winds, microburst, but it took down transmission towers and it knocked out 500,000 people's homes with power down here. Still today, 220,000 Victorians don't have electricity, and one man was killed on a tractor, a farmer in Mibu. He was killed by flying debris. Flying debris I associate with tornadoes, but I don't know if they just mean like a tree fell and it killed him or it was actually a tornado. I have no idea. But that's not good to hear. Yeah, we were lucky here. We just got massive amounts of hail. The hail was insane. It cracked two of my windows, and other than that, it's been okay. We have power and stuff like that. So I'm sorry to have to interrupt the show yesterday. I didn't want my house to flood. I wasn't expecting a storm like that. We haven't had one in like 5-6 years, and I didn't want my house to become a swimming pool. Hey, how are you all? Wu says you were lucky. Yep, we were lucky here. Wu says happy Valentine's Day. Yes, in Australia it is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's? It's no M in it, Ping. It's an N. Valentine's Day. There we go. I'll say hello to everyone. It's Sherry. Hey, Sherry. Bees are alive. Hello, my friend. How are you? The Thoris made it back to us. Hey, what is going on with my microphone? Uh, who's a girl? Hey, how are you? Emily Narb is eating spaghetti. DJ made it. Yep, another Maria. Diane Marie. Woos and Marilyn Landis. And Moonshadow. Hey, Moonshadow. How are you, my friend? Good to have you here. I hate mornings. Hey, this person made it. What are you doing here? Don't you have a show to get ready for? um, Shell Huffman as well. Hey, Shell Huffman. Good to see you all. Yeah, well, we had a new viewer who was very upset about the interruptions. Apparently, very very upset. All right, let's get on to it. Let's get on to it. First story of the day: an update in the Samantha Murphy disappearance. Yes, there has finally been. It's not a great update, but it is some new information. I will get it loaded for you. Apparently, the Victorian police chief, Shane Patton, did an interview just moments ago, and I'm gonna show you what they're saying. They're now saying the fact that this woman went missing so long ago. Hey guys, hey, how are you? They're saying the fact that she went missing so long ago, they can't find a trace of this woman. They have no idea where she is. They can't find a purse, a handbag, nothing. They're now saying they're treating her case as suspicious. Now, what does that mean? I just think it means it means she didn't just, have a heart attack while jogging and fall over or break an ankle or get bit by a snake. There's some outside factor that's causing her not to come home. Is the outside factor herself? Is the outside factor a third party? Don't know. But they're now saying it's suspicious. So it says here, on Wednesday, Victorian Police Chief Commissioner Shane Patton said while there were no developments, the case was suspicious. It's certainly unusual when we haven't been able to locate any trace of her or any other evidence within that time period. It's suspicious. Whether that means there's foul play involved or not, I don't know. But obviously, detectives are investigating a matter where a woman's been missing for a significant period of time. So yeah, not been seen since February 4th, and no one can give us a sighting. No one can give us, anything. Well, I don't know what you think, but There's been some people saying that maybe she faked her own disappearance for some reason. Maybe home was no good. Some people saying maybe someone nabbed her or abducted her. Yeah, no trace, no trace. But now suspicious. I mean, I think that's the only logical conclusion you can come to. You can't say, "Oh, it's a natural event." Hold on. Think running around in that, in the rain last night, I was trying to see the second line of storms come through. I may have given myself a small cold. Right, that's the thing that gets to me. When people say that she ran away and to start a new life, I just don't know if she'd do that to a young daughter. Well, maybe she would, I don't know, I don't know her, but apparently, the other sad thing is she had a little puppy that she loved to death. Apparently, the puppy got out not long after she went missing, and the puppy was killed by a car. It was hit by a car, and unfortunately, the puppy had to be put down. So her dog, which she loved, has now been uh, put down, unfortunately. Yes, talking about Samantha. Hey, Kelly. Hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm guessing that's where they went next, is to look at who does she know? Who has she been talking to? Is there any online trace? Is there any chat logs? Can they find anything on Facebook? Stuff like that. Yeah, very sad about the puppy. Hey Share Bear, how are you? Thank you for liking it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I tried to come back on last night to give everyone like another hour or so for the interruptions for the storm yesterday. Tried to make up for it for people. Yes, she was quite involved in the local arts and theater scene. Maybe a friend through there, who knows? But for now, suspicious is the word. So we'll see what happens. I thought I'd bring that to you because that just came out, and I was like, well, it's not exactly an update, but it is some sort of news. And apparently, there's been a lot of still infighting on Facebook about her case. That's what happens when you don't have information come out. It creates a information vacuum, and then people start filling it with their own, you know, theories and this and that, and it's just what always happens. Um, we're gonna move on to the story we spoke about yesterday. Give me 1 second. Which one is it? Hold on. This one? Sorry about that. What the hell? I was talking and I was like, "Yeah, this is the new case," and all of a sudden I noticed that my microphone and camera had stopped working. Here we go. The lady we spoke about yesterday from Soho in the Soho Hotel, Denisse uh, Arancibia, was found dead at Soho 54, believed to be a prostitute. I think we all guessed that yesterday. I don't think that's surprising to anyone here. We all guessed that she was probably a sex worker. And they're saying that she had been seen in the days earlier in the neighborhood known for sex work, apparently quite common there. They said no arrests have been made. However, detectives believe the person was a male suspect, obviously, and has been identified in the case, and they expect an arrest in the coming days. So they think they know who did it, and they are just trying to track that person down and get them arrested. There was a better update though. Hold on. Just sources tell the Daily Mail police have identified a male suspect and that an arrest is coming. Yeah, a lot of people commented last night uh, that they didn't understand why he would leave the bloody pants, and I was like, I wonder what kind of scenario you could come up with. And I was like, maybe they were doing like, the sex work thing. Maybe he killed her somehow, or they argued over money. Maybe he didn't get what he thought he was going to get, and he hit her with the iron. He kills her, maybe even accidentally, and then tries to run out of the room and get away and drops his pants, but he doesn't go back for them because he's like, well, I just killed a woman in my hotel room. If I go back, someone will see me. And his instinct was just to keep running. That's the only thing I could come up with, but it's just a scenario. Yeah, a quick turnaround for her, which is really good. Yep, we're safe here. Hey, Kelly in Texas. Hey, how are you? Yeah, it's hard not to speculate, especially when it's such a big case, especially down here. I was trying to see, they had better information in one of these articles. I'm trying to. No, that's the one from yesterday. They were saying something about how the security cameras help them. Where is it? Apparently, the area is quite known for migrants offering sex services in the open air. So they call it the so-called Market of Sweethearts. It's an interesting name. I don't think I've ever heard that before. And they're saying that it has one of the highest concentrations of sex workers in New York. And I think, well, that plays into it. It was sort of the photos for me. They kind of looked like, I mean, I know girls do these type of photos on Instagram and stuff like that, but I don't know. Something just spoke to me, especially with the situation, saying that it was like, you know, like a back page ad, that type of thing. And they said no arrests have been made. However, the investigation is continuing. But yeah, that she was a sex worker and a male suspect has been identified. So it's interesting. They're saying here that she was a street prostitute on Roosevelt Avenue in Queens, and she was seen out there by other workers. And I think that's interesting. I actually, it's not what I thought. I thought she was more like put the ad up, rent the hotel, meet the men, and then take them up to the room, do the service, and then leave. Not a streetwalker. I didn't think she was that type of sex worker. But hey, who knows? I just want to find this out. This is not the article I wanted. The other one had better information about why they know who it is. Hold on. Now I can't find it. Come on. Why are you doing this to me? Let's find it. One day. I might have to do. Let's sort by past 24 hours. I don't know what actually happened. It's interesting. Maybe it's this one. There's been a few articles. It says police probe whether NYC mum found beaten, strangled next to bloody iron in Soho was a sex worker. Yep, we know that. Police are investigating whether a Queens mum found beaten and strangled next to a bloody iron in Soho hotel last week may have been a sex worker. The Post has learned the victim, 38-year-old Denisse, stayed for several nights each month at the Soho 54 hotel in Lower Manhattan, going back about a year, according to law enforcement. So she'd do like 1 week on, 1 week off. I'm guessing something like that. Denisse is also believed to have is also been working for. She's been working for a man in Manhattan, who she communicated with on WhatsApp. What, like a pimp? Police have gathered shreds of evidence, including a security camera video of a man. There we go, leaving the building after her death, and a restaurant receipt left in the room that they think could lead them to the killer. And the crime scene showed indications that there may have been a dispute in the room. Yeah, I think they probably argued about money or something like that. Or maybe she tried to pick this guy up in the hotel's restaurant. Maybe he didn't know she was a sex worker. He just thinks a pretty lady's talking to him, and she took him up to the room and then demanded money. Maybe that's what happened. I mean, I've heard of that happening before with, these type of things. Apparently, a maid found her body under a blanket on February 8th at 10:30 a.m., and then next to her lay the blood-spattered iron. So it appeared to be broken. Well, I guess if you hit someone in the head with an iron, it may not work anymore. The head and the iron, they both may not work anymore. There's some more photos of Denise at NYPD crime scene unit. Apparently, the woman had no arrest history, had checked in just that morning. NYC medical examiner ruled it a homicide with a cause of death being compression of the neck and blunt head trauma. Well, no, that doesn't play into what I just said, does it? That wouldn't be like they were arguing over money and then you strangle her and then beat her with an iron. That seems like almost premeditated. Still feel sorry for her young son, 18 years old, lost his mum in a new country. They've only been here for a few years from, did they say South America? Ecuador. And now he has no mum. He's only newly an adult. He's gonna have to navigate this life on his own in a big city. I don't even know how he'd pay for anything. He may have to go home or something like that, or get a relative to help them out. Chevez says perhaps he was already in the room awaiting his date. She upped the ante and he ran without his britches to get away. Yeah, something like that. Hey, Brooklyn mom. Yes, it was in Soho. Soho. So there you go. Soho. I'm not trying to rap here. Chevy, perhaps he was already in the room. Yeah, that's what something like that. Marlene Clausen says maybe blood on the pants and had an extra pair. Like he's a businessman, like he travels for work, so he would have extra clothing or like an overnight bag. Maybe, maybe. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel sorry for the son. I really do. I I don't even know what that would be like to lose your mum at 18 and be in a country you're not fully familiar with. Especially, it sounded like his mum did a lot for him. Apparently, she returned home to cook him breakfast, then gave him money for a barber so he could get his hair cut. So it sounds like she did a lot, even at 18. Like, she's still cooking him breakfast, she's paying for haircuts. It doesn't sound like he is, uh, he's not making his own money or anything like that. It sounds like she was still taking care of him. I mean, he's still pretty young, and they only had moved into their apartment only a month ago, and so he's probably got a lease as well. So that's I wonder what happens with that. If you die and you're on a lease, but you have young children, like an 18-year-old, does the lease automatically cancel itself because the main tenant is deceased? I wonder. So he might even be out of a home. He may not even have a home to go back to. Marlene says, so he's the guy walking around Soho in his underpants. Maybe. Right, he had no idea, and this will be a shock. He'll be like, I mean, do you think that maybe even at 18 he should have had an inkling of what his mum did, even if he didn't know for sure? She goes for long periods. She's not home at night. She's often away for long, always has cash. You would think he'd be classed as an adult at 18, but he can't do certain things, right? He's not 21. He can't drink. He can't sign certain documents, can't hire a car. Like special victims unit? Maybe he will get a police social worker to help him navigate some of the, you know, like he's gonna have to bury his mum. He's gonna have to organize a funeral for his mum after she's released from the morgue. I mean, he's gonna grow up very quickly, unfortunately. Very, very quickly. It's nothing you really want for your son, is it? But it is interesting here. The Sun reported, and we read this yesterday, that his mother appeared nervous in the week before she was killed. No, that needs exploring more from police. Nervous, why? But if he didn't know what her job was, he may not have any more details about it either. But apparently, she moved from Ecuador to the Big Apple, where she lived with Savelos and a young nephew. Yeah, there's also a younger nephew. While her parents and younger son remained in South America. She was always working for us to give us the best life in this country. She always had money to cover anything in the house. She didn't owe no money to anybody. That didn't give you any clues that she just always seemed to have cash, that she didn't seem to work a 9 to 5 job, always seemed to have masses of, didn't go into a bank account, it always was cash. But I guess a lot of migrants probably do cash in hand jobs to get a foot in the country, in the work, like the work scene. They probably do anything they can to do, you know, work. Gardeners or even in a restaurant, that type of thing. Marlon Clausen says, "What if she had a pimp and he planned this, so had the pants?" Maybe. I mean, they did say she contacted someone on a WhatsApp group and she was constantly in contact with a man through there. So that's what I said. Maybe that's her pimp. Ah, that's interesting. Yep, another Maria says if she sponsored him, I don't know if he can stay. Well, if he's very young, he needs an adult to look after him, not the son, but the nephew. The nephew may have to go back to Ecuador. Well, I don't think she was married, Marlene Clausen. I think she was single. Yeah, that's true. Kelly says maybe he thought she worked in a bar and the money is probably better than Ecuador. Probably. Yeah, I think especially with something so traumatic as your mum being murdered, I think he needs as much support as he can get, right? And family is probably the best support he can get for that. Ecuador, Ecuador. Could be Shell Huffman. Shell Huffman says maybe it was a don't ask, don't tell situation between the mother and son. You might be right about that. Maybe he's just like, um, as long as as long as everything gets paid and I keep getting my haircuts, it's all good. Yeah, Beth says no way he knew, I guess. Hey Marlene. A different Marlene. Not this Marlene? It's a pink Marlene. Hi Marlene. Oh really? Kelly says I love Australia, but my kids are here. If I was alone, I would go back to England, I think. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. That's about all I have on that one. But what I do have for you is updates about the mushroom lady. You guys want updates about her? I have updates. Do you remember how we heard that the police brought in a technology dog? Well, they brought in two, and they searched her home when she was arrested. And we were like, wonder what they could have found with a technology dog. Well, today we found out. In her home, and these were secreted away. These were not just on a bedside table or in a drawer. These were hidden because the police already ransacked her place and didn't find these items. The dogs found them hidden. So keep that in mind. They found 5 iPads, a mobile phone, a USB, a smartwatch, and then they found more stuff. Where is it? Here. Technology detector Georgia found one USB, a micro secure digital card, and a SIM card. And then technology dog Alma found a mobile phone, 5 iPads, a trail camera, and a secure digital card and a smartwatch. Why were all those hidden in her home? Okay, maybe not all of them were, but there's some interesting items here, right? A secure digital card, a micro SD. Is that just an SDHC card? Let's have a look. Or did it actually have a lock on it? I think that's just a SD card, secure digital card. Yeah, it's just an SD card. So it's nothing fancy. It's just because it's police documents. They always have to spell everything out. It's a micro SD card and a SIM card. They could be old ones from when she changed her plan, or they could have been used for conspiracy with maybe someone else was involved, or she was talking to someone else about the mushrooms. Who knows? Or they could just be, we all have junk drawers, right? I have a junk drawer that probably has like 4 SIM cards in it that are from old numbers or old phones. So maybe she does too. But some of these things were hidden away because the dog had to find it, not the police. And there you go. So they pulled out quite a lot of tech with the technology detector dogs, which I'd never heard of before this particular case happened. We still have quite a while to go with this one. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait until it should have it in here. Is it May or March? Hold on. I think it's March. They wanted 20 weeks. 20 weeks until they could get back to court. Next. She's next listed for May 2024. So we got a while to go. It's it's not going to be soon. Still got a couple of months. It's been a long delay, but they're saying there's so much evidence that they have to troll through that they just don't have the time to do it any earlier. So I know she's going to do that, and then we'll find out whether we're going to the Supreme Court. We'll find out, and then if we're going to trial. So there's your update about her. Let me see. Diane Marie says, never heard of technology dogs. Yeah, so they were from our federal police, which is sort of like your FBI. And yeah, apparently they're trained to sniff out electronics. Moonshadow says 5 iPads. Why would you need 5? One for her, one for her ex-husband, one for the children. That's 4. Well, she's still got an extra one. Yeah, why would you need 5? Yeah, they didn't say. This was a part of a Senate estimates meeting, and I don't know what else. If there was anything else interesting in this, they would have included it. But apparently, apparently the AFP's commissioner, I think they were probably telling them, um, they were probably saying like how the funding from government helps solve cases, and like they're probably asking for a bigger budget from the government, and that's probably what they were doing in the Senate. They were probably asking like, "Hey, look what our assets did. You know, it cost millions to train them, but look, they found this technology at the mushroom lady's house, and we deserve another 20 million in funding, please." Yeah, and he did say the AFP commissioner said these items were not found during the officer's initial searches. So these items were not found by like a normal raid or a normal search warrant, which I find interesting because they would have, you know, probably found them if you just had them in a drawer. Kelly says, "I thought she looked genuine when she was crying. I didn't. The fact she kept touching her eyes and nothing came out, I was like, why do you keep touching your eyes?" It really bugged me for many months. Kelly says, "I remember her saying she scrapes the leftovers off the plates to feed the kids." Is that what she said? I think what she said was she scraped the mushroom off the Wellington so she could feed the kids because the kids did not like mushroom. I think that's what she said. Sean says, "How does one person expect to kill 4 to 5 people and think they wouldn't point at her?" I know, right? Let me have a dinner. I'm going to invite all these people that I want to kill. I'm going to kill them. And then when they all die and I don't, I'll just look like I'm some sort of miracle person, even though I prepared the food and I served it to them. Yes, that's not suspicious at all. Marlene says, "I keep my full SIM cards of photos just in case my computer gets hijacked." That's probably a pretty clever plan for you. Beth B, thank you. He was in hospital previously because she poisoned him. He had a very serious stomach condition for a couple of months, and the hospital couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, just that he was quite sick. And he ended up having to have some sort of surgery to fix it. And that was because of her. That some of her attempted murder charges are because of his sickness, because she tried to kill him earlier. Wu says even if she said that, the kids wouldn't have got sick from the juice and mushrooms. I still reckon she made 2 beef Wellingtons as well. I think it's the only way any of this makes any sense is the fact that she made 2. One that was poisoned, one that was not. It's the only way she could have eaten it and the kids could have eaten it. I don't think I ever read that. Not in print. I've said it. I've said it a few times, but I don't think I ever read it anywhere. Okay, have fun at the store. Guys, give me 1 second. I need a drink. All right. Hey, Brooklyn Mom. Maybe. Brooklyn Mom says, "Twist, ex-husband put the poison in and then wasn't there. Long shot, but anything is possible in this day and age." Maybe. Maybe she's being set up. We'll have to see what evidence the police have on May 3rd, how strong their case are. I don't know if she faked stomach problems or she just presented with stomach problems. That's a little unclear and has never been actually confirmed. Apparently, she was a huge true crime buff and that she was like into true crime forums and Reddit and stuff like that. So, it was a family intervention. Yeah, it was. Okay. Let me see if I can find our next story. Yes, really. All right, where are you? If I can find the story. Where are you? Actually, today there was a renewed call for information about the little toddler Noah, the one missing from Houston, Texas. They've renewed that call again. That if anyone has seen them, to please get in contact with police. And still, about a week later, no one has called in to say they have found that little boy. And if you don't remember who that was, I'll show you. It's this little boy here and his mum. That's Noah. And Camila, that's his mum. They haven't found either of them. And when they went to the property, she was missing. So, yeah, apparently they've taken off in the car. They don't know where she is. They don't know where the little boy is. And he's got congestive heart failure. And they would like to get him back to a hospital for care. He needs medication. Actually, we're going to read this in a second. And then it says, yeah, Noah is a black baby with black hair and brown eyes who is 2 feet tall and weighs just 20 pounds. He's a little kid. He was last seen wearing a navy shirt and flower print pants. Camilla drives a white 2007 GMC Yukon with a Texas license plate number STM 7097. They're still asking for more information. Where could she be? There has to be someone harboring them. That's what I think. There has to be someone who is helping them. Oh, you did? And yeah, she researched mushrooms. That's right. He pulled out at the last minute and didn't go to the lunch. You looked again today. Yeah, no one has had any information. Yeah, I think someone must be harboring them. Has to be. Otherwise, they would have been found by now. All right. All right. I'm going to show you another weird story. If I can get this to stop. It says, sobbing boy hands police Ziploc bag of meth found in mum's 430K Las Vegas home. What? A 9-year-old boy sobbed as he ratted out his drug dealing mother by handing police a 100-gram bag of methamphetamine he found under her nightstand. Kendra Long's son, who was not identified, met police at his front door in July 2022 while clutching his iPad and a sandwich sized Ziploc bag full of meth. The little boy approached officers, racked with sobs, as he handed the drugs off to authorities in front of his confused mother. He said, I just saw a couple of bags. I was curious, pulled it out, and that's when I knew what it was. When asked if he knew what drugs look like, the 9-year-old breathlessly replied, yeah. Her son had called his father Tony, who he now lives with. Oh, that's good. After finding the bags of drugs under Long's nightstand and locking himself in the bathroom for over an hour. Upon entering the Las Vegas home, an officer shows the mother the bag of drugs and she denies knowing what was inside. Oh, that's a big bag of meth. That's a lot of that's a lot of weekend uh, people doing a lot of cleaning. It says after examining the drug, the officer determined Long had around 100 grams in her possession, which would have been enough for hundreds of people. Yeah, apparently, he told his partner that this was one of the top 5 meth moments in his 20-year career of meth holes. He said, honestly, I can say this is the first time I can say a kid has walked out with 12 pounds of meth in a baggie and handed it to us. Long was arrested for drug trafficking and child abuse. Further investigation found she had been dealing drugs according to KLAS. Long denied knowing drugs were in the house at the time. Sure she did. Of course she did. Here's a photo of her. That little boy, what a good kid, right? Definitely knows right from wrong. Here's a photo from her from the, I guess that's a cop cam, like yeah, like a little camera on the chest. It says she was taken in and she would post her $25,000 bail. Of course she did. She had 100 grams of meth. Of course she's got cash. Someone came in and did that for sure. I don't know why they do this in articles at the moment. Why they quote the house price. Is it in case you want to go and buy her property and you're like, oh, I want to buy an ex meth dealer's home. So I'm going to call the real estate agent and see if I can buy it for 400,000 and then I'm gonna flip it and make 30 grand. I don't think you'd wanna buy a ex-meth dealer's home. It's probably got that, meth chemical in the wall, and it's really hard to get out, and you have to basically redo your entire home to get rid of the, carcinogen chemicals from your property. Sean says, "The husband got the son to plant it and call the cops." Yeah, that's what I do too, I often find 100 grams of meth. First, I have to go to my dealer to get that. Then I go to my ex-wife's house, and I get my kid to put it under her nightstand and then call the cops. I don't know about that. Might be a bit far-fetched. You saw the video on Twitter? I'm not calling it X, I'm calling it Twitter. Sorry. Someone was he Why do people keep coming to my house like that? I don't know. Random people always pulling up here. Alright, let's watch the video.
A police officer a bag of drugs.
Thank you.
I have no idea what that is.
Well, you just handed it to me.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
No, we can't do that. They're not going to show the full video? Ah, damn. I wanted to watch like the whole cop cam. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Kendra Long. I'm just trying to see if I can find it for us because I want to see this. No? Let's see. Well, she's not a counselor. That's Kendra Lara. Can't seem to find it. Sorry about that. Oh, body cam. No, I can't seem to find it on Twitter. It's probably there somewhere. I just can't find it. Alright. No, I can't find it. We got a little snippet. That's it. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Marlene Clausen. You literally have to rip out all the walls and the carpet, all that type of stuff. Yeah, there's actual companies that will come out and test your like internal walls and carpet and stuff, and they can tell how much meth has been either smoked or manufactured in your home. Maybe. But they could still show the bit with the mum. And it's obvious there is a video because you can see it here. These are screenshots from it right here. You can see the big bags of meth, which sort of look like rice in this. It sort of looks like a bag of rice. She should have just told her son, it's just exotic rice. Just give it back to mum. Well, she got done in by her own child. I mean, I can't imagine what that says. Would you be proud or angry? Proud and angry? Proud that your son knows right from wrong, and angry that he dobbed you in. Marlon Clausen says, when I tour a house, I take spray starch spray can with me. Spray a white painted piece of woodwork. If it turns purple, then you can buy a test at the hardware store. If you take a spray of starch, really? Okay. I didn't know this trick. So you need a can of starch spray. I've never heard of this method of testing a property. It's sort of like it's carcinogenic to people over long periods of time, and it can give you like uh, cancer and things like that. different health concerns. Marlon Clausen. The starch reacts with the iodine in the meth, or the manufacturer of methamphetamine has iodine in it, so you can react with the starch. That's very clever. I'd never heard of that method before. All right. Nope, don't do that. Here. Waco man says, I didn't know how old she was. You can never use that as an excuse, especially if the girl looks like she's 12. It says he placed girl in high-risk environment. Wait. Waco man accused of sexually assaulting girl placed in high-risk environment by CPS. Another CPS, story. David Lamont Drakes, 47, is charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child. Trigger warning. A first-degree felony after he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl who was placed in a high-risk environment by CPS. Drake sexually assaulted the girl multiple times during a 3-day period from February 5th to 7th at his apartment in the 1500 block of South Loop. Police said the girl is a child without placement who is under custody of CPS. CPS has been housing its children without placement in 2 locations that continue to expose them to high risk or further harm, which are houses in East Waco and a motel in South Waco, due to insufficient resources and policies that prohibit them from restraining or otherwise controlling the movements of these children. These high-risk children frequently run away and are then picked up or trafficked by adults. The affidavit states the incident was the 3rd case of sexual assault against a child in CPS custody within the past week. What? In a week? The 13-year-old girl in this case was reported as a runaway from a CPS home in East Waco on February 5th. Police said the girl went to a nearby gas station where she met Drakes. According to the affidavit, Drakes, a registered sex offender, admitted to picking up the girl and offering her a ride. Police learned the 13-year-old victim was with Drakes after CPS was alerted by other children the victim had been texting. One of the children who alerted CPS about the whereabouts of the 13-year-old victim had already been trafficked in a separate case. CPS then contacted Waco police, who eventually located the 13-year-old at Drake's apartment. While speaking with detectives, the 13-year-old said Drake forced her to have sex with him without a condom. When detectives spoke with Drake, he did not deny sexually assaulting the girl and merely said, I didn't know how old she was. Drake is being held at the McLennan County Jail. What the hell? What is going on in this region in CPS? Let's listen to this. Trigger warning.
Man is behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a girl under CPS custody. According to an arrest warrant, David Drakes assaulted the 13-year-old girl multiple times at his apartment. The warrant also states the girl was placed in a high-risk environment by the CPS. The victim was reported as a runaway from a CPS home in East Waco on Monday.
They say a mother's love is like...
How does that make any sense to anyone? That children without placement in 2 locations continue to be exposed to further harm, yet they can't do anything about it due to insufficient resources and policies that prohibit them from restraining or otherwise controlling the movement of the children. Why is that? It doesn't explain why. The high-risk children frequently run away and then are picked up or trafficked by adults. Yeah, didn't we just read a case last week where a young girl was trafficked by 2 women? And we were like, that's just crazy. It's happening everywhere. It's happening in your backyard. It really is. Let me just grab our next story, but that one was horrible. Hate seeing stuff like that, especially kids who are in care. I mean, not that they're better or worse than kids in a family home. It's just like they're already down on their luck. They don't need more things to traumatize them. but that seems to be the way it goes. Where is it? Oh, yes. I heard today someone sent to me this, that apparently we'll know very shortly about a trial date for Brian Koberger. And I'm like, wow, that'll be really good. Apparently, Brian's lawyers want it to begin in summer 2025. Wait, that's like 18 months away. So it won't happen this year at all? I wonder what the other people want here. I found the story. It says a trial date could be set later this month for the man charged with killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. KBOI reported that a court hearing is scheduled for February 28th, and Judge John Judge has asked both sides to be ready to discuss a trial date in addition to a possible change of venue. Prosecutors said they want the months-long trial to start this summer, while Brian's attorneys want it to begin in summer 2025. Koberger's lawyers have sought twice to have the grand jury indictment dismissed, but both requests were rejected in October. Also denied was Koberger's request to repeal the matter to a higher court. What do you guys think? So one wants it this summer, the other one wants it a year from then. So sometime in this June or July, or the following June or July. Which one do you think they're actually going to get? Yeah, Judge. That's what it said. I'll show you. Here. Judge John Judge. I don't know if that's real or not, but spell check and copy editing is not something these papers take a high, interest in. They just don't. We find mistakes every time, every night. It's his real name. Thanks, Beth. Judge John Judge. Why do we keep finding people whose names match their professions? This has happened to us a million times recently. We'll find someone where their name is exactly like what they do. It's not funny, but it's just a weird coincidence. Marlene says she's been investing in homes for over 20 years, and you cannot even trust a home of older people. They may have had a grandchild living there and meth being done. Tomorrow's TED Talk. Let's see. Marlene Clausen, you should do a TED Talk. Yeah, I don't think it was ever going to get dismissed. He would have to literally show that he was in another universe and say, I wasn't here and I have video footage and DNA linking me to the Super Bowl or something. He would have to have so much evidence to get that dismissed. I think the case is just too far down the road now for any judge to approve that. Well, did he waive his right to a speedy trial? If he did, that's why. Hold on. The same as Chad Daybell. Yes. Idaho murder suspect Brian Koberger waives right to speedy trial. There you go. That's why. Delaying the case indefinitely. Same with Chad Daybell. He did the same thing. Yeah. Cruising for what? Just, with his phone off. We all do that. I actually think I'm actually getting sick, for real. Not just the way I normally do. I think sitting in that rain yesterday was a bad idea. ShareBear says there's 5 terabytes of data. A lot of that could be video. Uncompressed video takes up a lot of room. A lot of room. Gambler says, "Hey everyone, made it. Unfortunately, the cold weather has returned. Whoa, -12? How did you get to the shops? How did you get there?" Yeah, I never understood that explanation that he was out cruising, but with his phone off for no reason at 3 a.m. in the morning. Never made much sense. And it's very hard to prove. Yeah, I will. I'll take some after we get out of here tonight. I will. I will. I'll take some vitamin C. All right. All right. All right. I do have more stories. Give me 1 second. Actually, I had one sent in by someone that I promised them that I would cover it for them. Where is it? Was it from my friend Amy? It might have been. If I can find it. Where's your email, Amy? No? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Because I like reading stuff that people send in. Because it, I don't know, it just lets people be a part of it. Oh, Gambler, what did you send me? Sorry. Gambler sent me something. Yesterday evening, we were talking about the first-degree murder charges laid in the death of 5 family members in Manitoba. Did they do a new press update for that? Gambler, did you see something today? I'm just trying to have a look. Because if so, we can cover it for you. No, I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I don't see anything about that mass murder in Quebec. Quebec? Actually, you guys have a weird story. I clicked on that link you gave me, Gambler, and look at this. Apparently, you had a missing Sudbury politician. Apparently, he has been found dead. Please
Good evening. We
confirm.
begin with breaking news. OPP have been called onto Atikameksheng First Nation over reports of a sudden death. They're currently on the scene at a seasonal home on Ojibwe Road. While the cause of death remains undetermined, investigators say there is no threat to public safety. Residents of the area should expect to see a large police presence. We're expecting an update shortly and will bring you that information as it becomes available.
Well, apparently the update is it was a Sudbury politician. His name is...
Back we go to our top story
Hey.
and breaking news.
His name was Michael Vag... I don't want to say that he's got such a... It almost... You could make it a rude last name. Vagnini? There you go. Michael Vagnini on Tuesday, 62, left home January 27th in his Dodge Ram 1500 truck and had not been seen since. His family said he did not have his cell phone or medication on him. After an extensive search with police resources and volunteers, his truck was found at 2:30 p.m. Tuesday in the area of Reserve Camp Road. I am not even going to try and pronounce this. I will screw it up and I'll insult all First Nation people in Canada. It says Michael was located deceased a short distance from his vehicle. Detectives are in the preliminary stages of the death investigation, and at this time, foul play is not suspected at this time. A postmortem will be conducted to determine the cause of death. They said, "We would like to thank our officers, police professionals, detectives, as well as members of the OPP and North Shore Search and Rescue who dedicated hundreds of hours to this investigation." It says many of these individuals knew Michael personally and wanted nothing more than a positive outcome. Since the time that Michael was reported missing, the outpouring of support from the community has been unparalleled. Michael Vagnini was a beloved member of this community and an advocate for GSPS. So that's really sad. Let's see if we can find a better photo of this man or a better update here.
News this hour. CTV News can now confirm investigators have found the body of missing city councilor Michael Vagnini. It's been more than 2 weeks since the 62-year-old politician disappeared. Around 2 o'clock this afternoon, officers were called to a seasonal property on Ojibwe Road on Atikameksheng First Nation, where they made the discovery. A cause of death has not been determined. Vagnini leaves behind a longtime partner and 2 daughters. And we'll have more on this story on our website at CTV News North.
That's very sad. Did he die from just exposure? That's what I'm guessing. Maybe just he died from the elements, from being cold. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. It doesn't really say why. It just says he was found deceased near his truck. That's interesting too, that he was found near his truck. It says he was found dead near a seasonal cottage. The Greater Sudbury Police Service Detective Staff Sergeant Barry Ornella, the lead investigator on the case, says a resident of the Panatch Lake located Michael Vagnini's black 2021 Ram 1500 truck on his property and called authorities shortly before 2:30. They said based on preliminary investigation, there is nothing to suggest foul play. It's unclear how long he had been deceased for. How sad. Do you know this guy, Gambler? Is he like some sort of big deal in political Canada? You'll have to let me know because I don't know every politician in Canada. Apparently there was a public vigil held for him. He was last spotted near McCharles Lake at the city's western edge. So he was serving right now. It says Vagnini was elected in 2014, one of 10 new faces on city council. He was unopposed in his re-election bid in 2018 and won 60% of the vote in 2022 election. So he was re-elected again. The day he disappeared, he was at a public morning event near Bell Park. Ornella previously told CBC News that an attendee at the event was concerned for Vagnini and followed him after it ended up making sure he was okay. Apparently, a concerned citizen had noticed he didn't look to be in the best of health and that a person took it upon themselves to follow him to make sure that he got to his destination safely. Weird. Maybe he was suffering from like some sort of condition or something like that. Like a health condition. Right. Yeah, maybe because for someone to follow you home, it must be like you must look really ill for someone to be that concerned that they make sure they drive behind you. Is it really? 7 years? No way. Hold on. Let's have a look. Let me just fix these links and then I will. All right. Yeah, it is too. Says like Delphi murders, where does it stand 7 years later? Wow, it really is 7 years. Where does the time go? For real. But you know what is good? At least overall, we sort of know what happened to Libby and Abigail. I mean, we have a suspect who has been arrested and charged. No matter what you think of that particular case, whether you think he is actually guilty or not, they did find someone they think is, responsible for their murders. And only a court of law will be able to tell us whether that is they got the right guy or they didn't. And we'll find out once we get more of the evidence, I guess. But for a long time, it felt like that case was never going to be solved. It felt like the police just didn't know who it was. They didn't feel like they had very good leads. Everyone was throwing darts at some guy in like Kansas that kind of looked like the guy who had a bit of a friggin', similar outlook as what the profile said. I mean, it was a real mess for a while. Yeah, I've heard this. Sean says, I hear many people have heart attacks clearing snow in North America. I've heard this that during the winter, the number one cause of heart attacks is people shoveling snow off a sidewalk. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard it that many people die that way in especially in New York. Ah, he's a long way from you. Well, gambler, he died. All right, he died. You're gonna have flags at half mast, and you're gonna have like a special ceremony. Yeah, the down the hill, and then everyone was trying to figure out, oh, who does that sound like? And this, it was so difficult because you literally had 3 seconds of audio, and it was being taken from, if I remember correctly, one of the girl's back pockets. So it was already like slightly muffled, and it was, yeah, quite difficult. So many years of bridge guy and finally caught him. You know, the one thing I always thought when I saw that image of bridge guy was that he was holding a firearm underneath his shirt, underneath the jacket, that he had a firearm in the jacket and then into his pants. And I was like, I know he's got a firearm under there because just the way his pants were in his jacket. And then we found out that he did have a firearm. 40 seconds. Oh, 40 seconds. Yeah, it's not that long. And I don't know. It was hard. It was hard to hear. Yeah, didn't he self-report to the police saying that he was there? He actually went into the police and told them. So there's a lot there to go through. I don't think I don't think he's innocent. I think he probably did it. I think there's so much stuff that you just can't wash away, like the stuff found in his home and the fact he was there that day and a bunch of other different facts. You just can't you can't move away from it. There's no way. And you can't wash it away and just pretend it didn't happen or they didn't find it. Ah, Lindy, that's a good way of remembering it. Lindy says, I'll always remember that it was the day before Valentine's Day. That's a great way of remembering it. I will try and remember that. Yeah, I haven't followed it since they arrested him. I actually stopped. Since they arrested him, I stopped following it. It was I don't know. I just got sick of the toxic people within the discussion. There's so many toxic people. It reminds me of Summer Wells. There's just so many people in there for the wrong reasons who think they have some sort of gatekeeping, special privilege over this particular case. And I was just like, I don't really want any part of it. I just don't want to socialize or be running around the same circles as those people. Just too many weirdos in that particular case. When will that trial be held? Let me see. I don't know. Do we have a date for Richard Allen? Some of the people who follow it more closely might know. No, that's not it. They've set a new date of October 2024. The trial is set to take place between October 15th and November 1st, 2024. So there you go. Later this year. I hope they stick to it. I really do. Originally didn't it say his original date was supposed to be January 8th to 26th, 2024. So it should have already happened. If they didn't delay it till October, we should have already been in trial for him. Shell Huffman says, I wonder if the trial will be televised. Didn't they say yes, it would be? There would be cameras for Richard Allen? I'm pretty sure. Let me check. I'm pretty sure they said yes. Trial. Yes, Richard Allen filed to allow cameras in the courtroom. I can't remember if they approved that request. I can't find anything that says whether it was approved or not, but I was pretty sure that they wanted cameras, or at least some people did. Yeah, cameras granted access for hearing. So they granted cameras at one point. I'll show you here. So at one point they did grant access to cameras for a hearing on. Oh, it doesn't say. It just says they did allow it. In a separate motion filed last month, his attorneys also asked the judge to allow cameras in the courtroom. All right, let's see what it says. Maybe it'll tell us if we'll get him in the trial.
Tomorrow, cameras will be allowed in the courtroom for a hearing in the Delphi murders case. Richard Allen is accused in the 2017 killings of 2 young girls. Thursday's status hearing will focus on a crucial leak of evidence that Allen's defense attorneys took responsibility for. And nearly
That's like the shortest video ever. No, it didn't tell us, but I don't know, if they did it once, they might do it again. I think it should be televised. The
City of
national
Chicago celebrating new artwork.
the national interest in Richard Allen's case is just like wildfire. It'll be insane if they don't allow it. I can't see anything past October for. Yeah, I can't see anything else, unfortunately. Maybe that's something they will do closer to October. They'll file more motions or whatever to see if it's allowed for the trial. But I can't see anything recently. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything. Just that they permitted it for the first time last year. Sean says, hopefully the mushroom case gets to be the first one. No way. They will not do it. There's no way. It'll never happen. Australia just doesn't televise court cases. And it just won't happen. Maybe Channel 9 and stuff like that will do like stuff from outside the courtroom, like out the front, but I can't see them doing a play-by-play action unless it's on the website. They might do it like a live blog, but I actually plan to be there, and I hope that I can. If I can't report directly from the courtroom or I can't get into the courtroom, I'm gonna do it from just outside, and we're gonna talk about it the whole time. Hey, Leisha. Yes, Sean, a movie is being made on the mushroom murders. Yes, it's due out later this year. Either later this year or early next year. I can't remember which one. I know it's due out though. Probably Channel 9, I reckon. Oh yeah, it's going to be the trial of the century for Victoria, for sure. Yes, they did at one point. They still claim that their dad was innocent. I don't know if they still do. All right, hold on. I'll grab another story before we all get bored. Hold on. Hey, all right. Let's find something interesting to close the show out with. Let's see if I can find something that's better or something interesting. What can we find? I don't want to do sex assault. We do too many of those, and I feel like it turns people off. And Harmony Montgomery is going to be Trisha's story for tonight, I think. So what else do we have? And we did Rachel Morin yesterday. And we've done that. Oh, there's a Amber Alert out of Austin. Let's see. Let's do that. I always want to do anything we can to get little kids back home. I hope they haven't been. Oh, I do hope they've been found. Austin police. Oh, they did locate it. Austin police locate 72-year-old woman and 2-year-old girl. Gloria Moore and 2-year-old girl were last seen on River Place Boulevard Sunday night in a blue 2019 Honda Civic. Police have located a missing woman and toddler last seen in northwest Austin Sunday night. On Monday, the Austin Police Department were asking for help to find 72-year-old Gloria Moore and a 2-year-old. Police said Moore became disorientated and her cell phone battery died. Moore's vehicle broke down at the side of State Highway 71. And, hey, where'd my story go? What happened? Yeah. Moore's vehicle broke down at the side of State Highway 71. She called a relative by borrowing a passerbys phone, according to APD. Prior to being found, the pair were last seen at 9:30 p.m. on Sunday at a relative's house in the 4000 block of River Palace Boulevard in a blue 2019 Honda Civic with Texas license plate 4722L37. Moore's cell phone last showed activity at 4:30 a.m. on Monday. You know, if you add all those little bits and pieces up together, they look really suspicious or like they look really worrying. But it just seems like this poor woman who it says here has been diagnosed with cognitive impairment and her disappearance posed a credible threat to her safety and the baby. When you add up all these little things that went wrong, the car broke down, her phone ran out of battery, all those little things. It looks really bad, but it's so lucky that they were able to find them and get them home. On Tuesday around 1:25 p.m., police said both Moore and the little girl had been found safe. That is a real miracle. The fact they had been missing since 9:30 p.m. on Sunday and they weren't returned home until 1:25 on Tuesday. That's a long period of time to be out in the wilderness with a little baby, a 2-year-old. I mean, yeah, they're very, very lucky because that could end up way worse, way, way worse. Like the fact that she became disorientated, she could have driven into a lake or some water, and then that would have really been an emergency, an even bigger emergency. Oh, Danny, there was someone in here last night saying that what did they say? They were talking about the 666, and we're like, oh, Danny can't miss it. He'll be really disappointed if he doesn't see it. Yeah, but hopefully you'll be here for your devil moment, your 666 moment. All right. We've got another 10 minutes or so. That's interesting. This is an interesting story. Let me see if I can find. So it says here, warrants show clearer timeline, disturbing details after boy found dead at Trails, Carolina. Warning, some details in this report may be disturbing for readers and viewers. It says a News 13 investigation is uncovering new details about a 12-year-old's death at a wilderness therapy program in Transylvania County. That really is Transylvania, not the other one. Warrants returned to a new state oversight of the investigation in a letter. They're saying, our staff. Let's watch the video.
This is another big story we're continuing to follow. The state is now providing active oversight of the investigation at a Transylvania County wilderness therapy program where a 12-year-old died. In a letter today, the state warned Trails Carolina cannot take new admissions until the investigation is complete and must discontinue the use of a sleep practice while the investigation is ongoing. You better believe investigative reporter Jennifer Emmert uncovers more about how the boy was found and why investigators call it suspicious. And we do want to warn you, some of the details revealed are disturbing.
A total of 23 pages detail what two Transylvania County detectives found at Trails Carolina February 3rd. According to the warrants, when detectives arrived, the 12-year-old was lying on the floor in the bunkhouse, naked from the waist down, his pants on the floor near his shoulder. Counselors couldn't explain how that occurred. A CPR mask covered his face, but he had also foamed at the mouth, causing detectives to question if he was poisoned. The warrants state the boy was loud and irate when he arrived, refused dinner, but ate snacks. He stayed in a bunkhouse described as a square structure made of wood. According to the detectives, Trails Carolina protocol for the first night is to sleep on the floor in a small tent or bivvy, collapsed on one side and held with a flex pole at the other. Inside the bivvy is a sleeping bag, and on the zipper of the tent is a small alarm that goes off when you exit. According to a counselor, around midnight, the boy experienced a panic attack. Two counselors stood along the wall, but didn't mention if they assisted. The counselor told detectives the boy could exit the bivvy at any time. But when he described it to detectives, he stated, "We would open or close the bivvy." The boy was checked at midnight, 3 a.m.
I don't know about you, but if someone made me sleep in a sleeping bag that had an alarm that I couldn't get out of, I'd have a panic attack too if it was my first night there. What is this place? Let's keep listening.
6 a.m. and was found dead at 7:45 a.m. The warrants say when detectives in Transylvania County DSS tried to talk with 4 kids in the bunkhouse, Trails Carolina staff refused. Staff also refused to disclose their whereabouts. The camp has 4 locations, 3 in North Carolina and 1 in South Carolina. In a statement, Trails Carolina claims their staff have fully cooperated with local law enforcement's investigation and that our students have cooperated to the extent authorized by their parents. According to the camp, children were moved to protect them from seeing what was happening, not to avoid investigators. Trails Carolina is conducting its own investigation. Trails Carolina maintains there is no evidence of criminal conduct or suspicious acts. Warrants show detectives seized 26 items from 2 Trails Carolina locations, among them a sleeping bag, a tent alarm, the boys' belongings, and more.
Apparently, this investigation goes even deeper. What I'm going to do is, because we're almost at the end of the show, I'm gonna after we get off here, 1, I'm gonna go get some vitamin C, so I'm better by tomorrow. 2, I'm gonna keep researching this and write notes because this is freaking bizarre. Why on earth would you do this to kids? This page has everything, so I need to go through all this because we can't cover this all tonight. But I will do it tomorrow night. I'm gonna write all the notes after we get off here, or I may come back at midnight and we'll do a late show, which gives me time to go through all this and give you guys a much better roundup. Because that news report is just the first bit. This is now the full investigation. That's what you guys can see here. You can see how long it is. So let me go through this, and I'm going to write all my notes. It's ridiculous. The kid was foaming at the mouth. You put a lock on the sleeping bag, but you don't know what the hell he ingested. What? If I was the parents of that kid or the guardians or whatever, I'd be so mad. Ridiculous. Yeah, I think it is for kids who have gone off the tracks a little bit, or more like kids who are heading towards the wrong direction, if that makes sense. They're trying to redirect them back into, a better life. I think that's sort of what it is, but they shouldn't be winding up dead. They really shouldn't. A 12-year-old's death at a wilderness therapy program in Transylvania County. Yeah, so this has all the warrant information below. So it's going to take me about half an hour to go through it all and write all the notes. But this is interesting. I want to find out more about this. I know, right? The fact that it has an alarm, like I sort of get it, so kids can't get out and then get out of the bunk bed or whatever and then fall off a cliff. But it'd make me have a panic attack too, that I'm strapped in there and I can't get out. Marlene says, "Yes, please come back later tonight." All right. Then I can have some rest and I'll have some hot tea or whatever, lemon water. I'm like Mariah Carey. I need my lemon water to perform. Yeah, troubled youth. Yeah, but they don't deserve to die either. I don't know if parents pay for it or it's state paid for. I'll have to look that up. It's probably in here somewhere. There's letters and warrants, and so let me go through that, and I'll be back at midnight because you guys have to go hang out with Trish now. Trish is on at 10:30 in about 4 minutes, so I'm gonna get out of here. I want to thank Sean. Sean sent a donation and he says, "Enjoy a bottle of wine with your partner on me." Thank you very much. It's very kind of you on Valentine's Day. I will definitely do so. I appreciate it very much. Anyone who supports the channel, it's amazingly kind, even on nights like tonight where it's not perfect. I appreciate it. I do too. I sometimes look in the mirror and I go, damn, wasn't I married to James Packer for like a month? That's okay. If you want to watch it on the replay, it's only for people who are like sort of in Canada or on the West Coast or in Australia. All right, we better get out of here because otherwise you won't make it to Trisha's. All right, guys, I love you all. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope my voice will be better by tomorrow. And yeah, have a great Valentine's Day tomorrow. I hope your loved one or secret admirer gives you a Valentine gift. So until then, my name is Ping and we're out of here. Bye bye. Good night.